Today's lesson, we're going to talk about unit circle. So what's unit circle? Unit circle is the circle center at the origin, so it'll be origin right here, and your radius is going to be 1. So radius right here is going to be 1. Everywhere, all this is going to be 1. And also, unit circle equation is x squared plus y squared is equals to 1. And what's this P? This P is this point right here. This point will have coordination of x and y, right? So here is some definitions from this picture. If you wanted to look for sine of this t, or this t, right? T angle. We're going to use t as the angle for the unit circle. So if sine t, that's going to be your y value. If you wanted to find cosine of this measurement t, that's going to be your x. So this point is going to be same as having cosine t with sine t, which is x and y values. And tangent is going to be y over x, right? Y value over x. Or you can also see as sine t over cosine t, right? And we're going to also talk about cosecant. Cosecant is going to be 1 over y, which is related to sine t. And secant is going to be 1 over x, which is related to cosine t. Cotangent is x over y, which is the reciprocal of tangent. So using these definitions, let's see if we can find all 6 trig values. Your 6th trig value is sine, cosine, tangent, sine, cosine, tangent, cosecant, secant, and cotangent. Okay, example 1, they want you to find the 6th trig value from given informations. Let's do, because A and B is same, let's do B and C. So B, you have point given. So your sine P is your y value, which is 1/2. And cosine P is your x value, which is square root of 3 over 2. And fractions, square root is okay to be in on the numerator, right? Tangent P is going to be sine, which is y, over x value. This is fraction inside fraction, so let's multiply numerator denominator by 2 to get rid of complex fractions. Then you end up getting 1 over square root of 3. And since we cannot have square roots on denominator, you're going to multiply numerator denominator by square root of 3. So you get square root of 3 over 3 as the tangent P. And then your cosecant P and secant P and cotangent P is flipping sine, cosine, and tangent. The way that I remember which is related is cosecant, you have S in the middle, which is what, sine, flipping. So it will be 2 over 1, which is 2. Secant is going to be SEC, where C and S flipped from the cosine, right? So that will be flipping cosine, which gives you 2 over square root of 3. You need to get rid of square roots, rationalize denominator, so you multiply numerator, denominator by square root of 3. You get 2 square root of 3 over 3 as secant P, cotangent P. Before you rationalize it, because you're going to flip anyway, you're going to use this tangent, 1 over square root of 3. When you use that, it will be square root of 3 over 1, which is just square root of 3. So that's how you're going to find all 6 trig value when point is given. C, instead of point is given, you get angle. T is angle, pi over 2. Remember where pi over 2 is? Pi over 2 is same as 90 degree. So it will be right there. So what will be point value for that? Because this is the unit circle, this measurement have to be 1. So this is going to give you 0, 1 as the point value. So using that information to find sine of t, so your y value of that coordination of that point is going to be 1. Cosine t, x value of that coordination of the point is 0. And tangent t is going to be 1 over 0. And since you cannot have 0 on denominator for the fractions, this gives you undefined. And then you have cosecant P, secant P, and cotangent. Oh, not P, it will be T, right? T. Cosecant, flip the sign, so it will be 1 over 1, will be still 1. Secant, flip the cosine, which is 0 over 1. Flip will be 1 over 0. That gives you another undefined. And then cotangent t is going to be flipping 1 over 0, so it will be 0 over 1, which is going to be 1. Example 2 is finding exact value of 6 trig functions. And we have 4 exercises. Let's do C and D from this exercise. If you wanted to look at the work for or solutions for A and B, you can look at class notes with the solutions, right? Because this is video, I wanted to save some time. I'm not doing all the problem if they're similar or same. So this one, C, your angle is pi, which is 180 degree. So if you're looking at it as the unit circle picture, your 180 degree or pi is in that line right there. And because it's unit circle, your point should be right there. And your point's coordination is going to be x negative 1, y will be not moving up and down, so it will be 0. So long as you know the points coordinations for that angle, you should be able to find your sine. Your theta is pi, right? Let's use the pi. Sine, cosine, tangent, and cosecant, and secant, and cotangent pi. sine is going to be your y value, so it will be 0. Cosine is your x value, -1. Tangent is sine over cosine, which is going to be 0. Flip the sign. Flip the sign is cosecant, so it will be 1 over 0, which is undefined. And secant is flipping cosine, so it will be -1. Cotangent is flipping a tangent, which become -1 over 0, so that's going to be another undefined. Let's look at D. When we're looking at D, that's another angle that we already know. So 270 or 3 pi over 2 is in this line right here. And because it's a unit circle, your point's coordination is going to be, you're not moving x, just go down 1 because unit circle is just 1 radius. So then this will give you your sine 3 pi over 2 equal 1. Don't forget it's going down, so it will be -1. And cosine 3 pi over 2 is going to be x value, which is 0. Tangent 3 pi over 2 is -1 over 0, which is undefined. Cosecant 3 pi over 2 is flip of sine, which is -1. Secant 3 pi over 2 is going to be 0 over 1. Flip will be 1 over 0, so that will be undefined. Cotangent 3 pi over 2 is going to be tangent flip, so it will be 0 over -1, which is 0. And this is very similar to the last problem of example 1, but I'm going over a few more here. Example 3 is asking to find exact value of each of the angle, right? So sine, the first one we're looking at sine 3 pi. So I need to know where is sine 3 pi is. And 3 pi is equals to 2 pi plus pi. 2 pi means one circle, and pi go half circle more. So that's going to be 3 pi. 3 pi. And then we're looking at finding exact value. So let's say this is going to be points. This is where your point had to be. And points will give you your coordinations of -1 and 0, right? So your sine have to be your y value. So sine 3 pi is going to be your y value 0. The second one is asking for degree, which is negative this time. So when you have rectangular coordinate system, negative 270 degree is going to be right here. This is negative 270 degree. So your point should be on that line. And this coordinations is going to be 0 and +1. And using that to find your cosine, cosine have to be your x value, so your x value is 0. Okay, so then when we're looking at the next they're going to give you exact value of trig function for angle 45 degree or pi over 4. This is one of other important angles. So remember what we did so far, the point, all this, right? This is going to be 0 or 2 pi or 360 degree, right? This is 90 degree, 180 degree, or 270 degree, or we have pi over 2. So this is important radians measurement that you need to remember, right? Pi over 2, pi, and 3 pi over 2. This point is going to give you 1 and 0. This point is going to be 0 and 1. This point is going to be negative 1 and 0. And this is going to be 0 and negative 1. So this is important measurement because you get to use them all the time. 0, 2 pi, pi over 2, pi, or 3 pi over 2. You're going to use them all the time. There is 3 other angles it's going to be used all the time. One it's given right here, which is 45 degree or pi over 4. You also have pi over 6, which is 30 degree, and pi over 3, which is 60 degree. And this is very important measurement, so I'm going to highlight it with red. This is important ones that you need to memorize it, right? In order to be able to do well on this chapter. Or entire my class, right? This class. And when you're looking at here, information when it's 45 degree or pi over 4, your point is going to be square root of 2 over 2, square root of 2 over 2, right? So that's important. And we're going to talk about pi over 6 and pi over 3 from the next examples. Example 4 is the one that is showing you 45 degree, 60 degree, and 30 degree. So remember, that's an important one, so I'm going to draw it with red. So 45 should be somewhere right here, and that point right here, if this is 45 degree or pi over 4, right? These points, you're going to have square root of 2 over 2, square root of 2 over 2. And for pi over 3, which is 60 degree, again, this is important. This is 60 degree or pi over 3. This point you need to know, memorize it, which is going to be 1/2 and square root of 3 over 2. This one, 30 degree or pi over 6. That point, this is what? Pi over 6 or 30 degree. This point, you're going to have square root of 3 over 2 and 1/2. So the relationship you have, this is easy to remember because it's half, right? But this one, 60 degree versus 30 degree, it flips. Your x become your y value become x. So with this information, you can find your sine and, all 6 trig functions. Since sine of 45 have to be y value, so it'll be square root of 2 over 2. Your x value is still same. Your tangent is going to be y over x, which is the same value, so that gives you 1, right? Same thing over same thing is going to be 1. And then cosecant, flip the signs. So it will be 2 over square root of 2. And then you need to rationalize it again. So it will be this. Square root of 2. Do the same thing for secant, so you get the same answer. Cotangent 45 is going to be flip of tangents, so it will be 1. Sine of 60 degree is your y value. Cosine of 60 degree, your x value. Tangent is sine over cosine. Multiply by 2 on both sides. To rationalize, you get square root of 3. And cosecant 60 degree is 2 over square root of 3, sine flipped. And make sure you rationalize denominator. So it will be 2 square root of 3 over 3. Secant 60 degree is flipping of cosine. So it will be 2 over 1, which is 2. Cotangent flip the tangent, you get 1 over square root of 3, which is square root of 3 over 3. Your sine of 30 degree is your y value. Cosine, your x value. So once you find the points, finding sine, cosine, tangent, and other 3 trig function is going to be same as before. And secant flipping sine 2 over 1, 2. That's going to be 2 square root of 3. So that gives you 2 square root of 3 over 2. Cotangent is flipping tangent. So it will be square root of 3. So example 5 is finding exact values. But this time you have more than one trig functions together. Look like you have a multiplication on the first one, right? You wanted to multiply sine 45 degree value times cosine 180 values. So let's find the each value first. So sine of 45, remember sine of 45, this is 45, which had square root of 2 over 2, square root of 2 over 2, right? So your sine of that is going to be your y value, square root of 2 over 2, times, let's do cosine of 180 degree, your 180 degree right there, and that point is going to have negative 1 and 0. Cosine is your x value, which is negative 1. And when you multiply that, it gives you negative square root of 2 over 2, right? Just find each of the value as we learn, and then this one was multiplications, multiply. This one looked like number B is negative and number C is positive. So what about tangent pi over 4? So remember what pi over 4 is. That's 45 degree. Right? So let me draw that. This is pi over 4. That's 45 degrees. So you're going to have square root of 2 over 2, square root of 2 over 2, which tangent of that is going to be 1, right? So tangent pi over 4 is square root of 2 over 2 over square root of 2 over 2, which is 1. And then let's find, so it'll be 1 minus, right? Let's find pi, 3 pi over 2. 3 pi over 2 is right here, which is 270 degree. This point will give you 0 and -1. And your sine is your y value, so it will be -1. When you're subtracting negative, it's same as adding, so that gives you value of 2, right? Let's try one more. Pi over 4, we've been doing pi over 4, right? This is pi over 4, this is pi over 4, right? This is pi over 4. So when you wanted to find secant is related to cosine, right? And what's the cosine of pi over 4? Cosine of pi over 4, let me write that. Cosine of pi over 4 is square root of 2 over 2. So secant pi over 4 should be 1 over square root of 2. How do we get that? It will be 2 square root of 2. When you multiply square root 2 on the numerator denominator, you get 2 square root of 2 over 2. Cancel out, which is going to be square root of 2. And you're going to square that, right? This right here. And then find pi over 2, sine flip. This is sine flip, right? Pi over 2 is right there, which gives you 0 and 1. Your sine is going to be 1. So sine pi over 2 is 1. When you flip that, your cosecant pi over 2 is also 1. So you do plus 1. Give you 2 plus 1, which is 3. Example 6, we're looking for exact value again. But this time, the angle that you're looking at is something different than what we're looking at it. But we can still find the value, exact value, because it have relationship to the angle we already know. So let's look at the first one. You have cosine of 5 pi over 4. So 5 pi over 4. What kind of relationship we have with which angle, right? 5 pi over 4 means you go 1 pi and then pi over 4 more. So when we draw it in unit circle, we go, this is pi. So after you go pi, you go pi over 4 more. So this angle is going to be after pi, it will be pi over 4 more. So the points in that line will have square root of 2 over 2, square root of 2 over 2. One more thing that you need to know is the signs. First quadrant, all x and y will have positive, positive. Second quadrant, negative, positive. Third quadrant, negative, negative. And fourth quadrant, positive, negative. Because this value is in the third quadrant, both p-value will be negative. And since we're looking for cosine 5 pi over 4, cosine is going to be your x value, so it will be negative square root of 2 over 2, this x value. Let's do another one with angle this time. So let's see. What's 135 degree equals to? 135 is between 90 degree and 180 degree. So I wanted to know how far from 90 or how far from 180 degree, because my measurement have to be started from this line, right? So this is the angle I'm going to need it. So let's do 180 minus 135 is 45 degrees. So it will be somewhere right here, which is going to be 45 degrees. So it means this point right here will have another square root of 2 over 2, square root of 2 over 2, where x is negative this time, right? Negative and positive. And you're looking for sine. Sine is your y value, so it will be positive square root of 2 over 2. And let's look at C. You have a tangent, 315 degree. What about 315 degree? This is 270, this is 360. So when we do, because we need the angle from your initial line, right, this angle, we do 360 minus 315, we get 45 degree. So it's another 45 degree. And your point should be, remember x is positive, y is negative on the fourth quadrant. So your tangent, 315, is square root of 2 over 2 negative over square root of 2 over 2, which is going to be negative 1. When we look at D, which is sine of negative 45 degree, negative pi over 4, that's going to be same as this one right here from the C, right? C. Going negative direction, pi over 4 is what? 45 degree also. So we're looking at exactly same point. It means the sine is going to be, sine of negative pi over 4 is going to be negative square root of 2 over 2, which is your y value. Let's do the last one, E. What about if you have 11 pi over 4? Converting into the mixed number, you have 2, 3 pi over 4. So after one circle, 2 pi, you go 3 pi over 4 more. Let's try to graph that. So after one circle, go 3 pi over 4. And remember, the angle you need is from here to here, right? So what you need to do is, this is pi, so you're doing pi minus 3 pi over 4. Because you just need to minus this, right? Not the whole circle. You don't have to worry about whole circle. So then this gives you 4 pi over 4 minus 3 pi over 4, which is pi over 4. So this is pi over 4. That gives you the point value negative square root of 2 over 2 and square root of 2 over 2. And we're looking for a cosine of it. So that will be negative square root of 2 over 2 because it's your x values.